Welcome to another House of Preeminence Posse powwow. Who the heck are we? We are the posse from the House of Preeminence, which, if you haven't heard of it, is rapidly getting a reputation as the most beautiful, stunning, incredible, wisdom-packed women's high vibe lifestyle and success and achievement magazine on the planet. We've been called the Vogue of feminine high performance. We've been called the New O magazine, and we've been had accolades like breathtaking and the everything a high vibe achiever could want. So we are so proud to come and share our wisdom with you on a Wednesday. We pick different topics that women change makers and entrepreneurs really care about. We know how much women are working to help humanity rise and to rebalance the planet. And everything that we share is about empowering you, your best life, your potential, solving your challenges, solving your conundrums, healing everything that you need for your highest life. So today we've picked a topic which reflects the subject of the theme of this month's magazine. The October is all about love and relationships. We were honored to have the incredible New York Times bestselling author Catherine Woodward Thomas to be our featured cover guest, and she's also in the magazine. And we have other guests who talked about the power of Tantra. We've covered love, sensuality from every point of view. And what we want to talk about today is self-love, because self-love is what I call the real secret. Everybody talks about high vibration and manifestation and alignment, and visualization and affirmation. But if you don't have self-love and you don't demonstrate self-love to yourself on a daily, moment-to-moment basis, then a lot of your good intentions and your good actions will be dispersed on the vibrational airwaves. So we're going to dive in today with my posse. Today, I am going to introduce them. We have the wonderful Gina Lazenby, a Feng Shui expert and author of The Healthy Home, expert on healthy home, everything about home as a foundation for abundance is part of her expertise. There's an awful lot more. And my gorgeous goddess champion of goddesses, Alison Stillman, who is an amazing expert who I am still discovering, and everything that she knows about empowering femininity. So today we're going to dive right in. I'm going to let Alison kick off today with this topic. Over to you, Alison.
Thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be with both of you and all of you who are watching today. And being that we are about empowering femininity and self-care and self-love within ourselves, I want to offer up a new prayer that's come onto the horizon called the Ladies' Prayer. And I was soaking in an Epsom salt bath this morning with rose petals and had a huge meditation and was crying and releasing and letting go of so much. And I realized that sometimes my job is to take on the suffering of humanity and transmute it through my body. And in order to do that higher work, I have to do self-care. I have to do release work. I have to do bathing and rituals and things like that. So as I cried in the tub and let go and released and started chanting, this prayer came through as a reminder. And I've been saying this for quite a long time since it came onto my horizon. So I share it with all of you. Our Lady who lives at the heart of all form, hallowed be thy name. May thy queendom come. May thy will be done, that heaven may come to earth. Please allow me this day to drink from your sacred silver spring, and forgive me my forgetting as I learn through your grace to return all non-love with love, and take me by the hand and lead me step by step into the patient valley of your heart. For yours is the earth, my body, and my life forever and ever. And so it is. Blessed be.
So moving.
Ooh.
So moving.
Now I know why it's the ladies' prayer
Yes.
as opposed to the
Yes.
Lord's prayer.
Yes.
The other one.
Yeah.
That's right. I thought, shall I name it?
It's the new prayer for the new epoch that we're giving birth to. This house of preeminence is the journal in which people can really start to partake of this rise into a loving and caring and compassionate humanity. And that's what we're giving birth to, particularly as women. That's what we've held for so long, but we're giving birth to that in this new epoch. And to me, this prayer, the ladies' prayer, says it all about where we're going and what we hold as women and as forerunners and as transformational leaders in the rising of this new epoch.
So let's just enlarge on that a little bit, because I should imagine that there are absolutely hundreds of thousands of women out there who are feeling this yearning to do more to help humanity, maybe feeling that not powerful enough, that they don't have the right skills, or they don't have the right connections, or they don't know what to do. Even change makers and women entrepreneurs who call themselves change makers, even they wonder how much power they have. Can they really do something? So let's just talk about this a little bit, Alison. This coming together of women all over, how we are bonding, how we are starting to have conversations which keep leading to actions and practical, pragmatic help in places and for people who need it. So let's just go there a little bit, because we've been talking about this for a year and a half since the magazine came out, and I named it for Ambitious Change Makers, because I consider that the change makers out there are not just coaches and consultants, but they're also women who work in indigenous places, in poor places, and just do small acts of kindness and keep helping. And what we're doing is for everybody. It isn't exclusive. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to be empowered or to have the wisdom that we're sharing. Is we want every woman to know that she is supported, that she has a platform, that she has a voice, that she has a place, that a vital place in what we're building. And I'm just going to talk ever so quickly, and I'm going to hand this back to you ladies, about when I had interviewed Lynn Twist of the Pachamama Alliance, and she talked about this Cherokee prophecy of the eagle with a broken wing, with the eagle that represented the masculine principle that has been with a broken wing dangling, the right wing, and so because it's been flapping the other wing, hang on, no, it's the left one, back to front, the left wing was broken, and the right wing, representing the masculine principle, has been flapping around for probably millennia, trying to keep itself afloat. But of course, the masculine principle is not the the only answer. We need balance. We need the feminine principle. And so what is happening now, according to this prophecy, is that the left wing, the feminine principle, is unfolding and healing, so that with two wings, the wind can take it up, and humanity can soar and rise, because that's what we need, is both of these principles to be balanced. So this is nothing to do with men bashing or or patriarchy conversations or anything like that. It's simply to hear and heed, which you did so beautifully in that prayer. Heed this call that we're feeling, because you channeled it, and to let this come from us, and to have a voice.
So the one thing that comes to mind. Do you all hear the echo, or is it just me?
Echo.
Okay. Well, I'll talk more softly. is to really reference to quantum physics and the new science, this quantum science, and all of these scientists are discovering that the essence of who we all are is this creator source, right? We are the gods and goddesses that have come into human form, every single one of us. And no one will be immune from this rising. We are in a revolutionary time, re-evolutionary time, as you like to say, Jenny. And we're all evolving, every single person on this planet. And the question really comes down to each of us. Do we want to move forward in fear, or do we want to move forward in love? And I love the line, return all non-love with love. That is a big practice. And I think it's also a very simple practice at the same time. And I think everything that we can do as women to nurture ourselves the way that we nurture and mother others is the best gift that we can give humanity in this time of rising into a new epoch of love and compassion and caring and unity.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Our subject here about self-love, I can't remember when I really embraced that, and the time when I thought it was really selfish to love myself. Culturally, we don't support self-love, do we? It's like, thinks he loves himself, and there came a point, and it had to have been after breakdown point and reinvention, when I took that idea on board and then lived it and explored it. But I do remember a time where I couldn't accept that was an odd idea, and it's the core of everything, because if you don't have that practice, how can you have this compassion for others, this love for others, if at the seed of it you have negative thoughts about yourself? You don't realize it. I mean, even giving to others selflessly, you've got to have that self-love, otherwise you get that burnout. And I suppose that's where my breakdown point came all those years ago. Not circling back and investing in me and honoring me in order for me to do the things in the world. And then I learned that. So I think that if anybody is watching this and has any kind of doubt, it's a language thing, isn't it? It's definitely a language. It's not just loving yourself from any point of ego. It's deep. It's a deep recognition of your own soul, your own worthiness. And as you said, we're all gods and goddesses. We're all at this core, this is the same core energy. You have every right to have love as much as anybody else. You just go past the surface actions. And at the core is, we're all loving beings. And when you think of someone else as a loving being, a soul, it's so much easier to get past behavior that you might not love or like. Tuning into that spirit, isn't it?
Well said. Yes.
There's a lot of talk about in women's circles about self-love, yet so many women are in self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Because it runs deep. It runs in the subconscious, it runs in our conditioning, in our programming, in our upbringing. And I count myself in that. It is so many times, even with mindfulness and good intention and routines and rituals that do nurture us, we are often just unaware that there kind of is an undercurrent of I think you mentioned it, Gina, about the worthiness. The worthiness is that we still feel unworthy. We still feel, and we show that through lack of boundaries. For example, lack of boundaries is a mark of our own sense of unworthiness, and yet we can just go through our days with loose boundaries and not say no when we need to. We can be powering. We can give ourselves all of the rose petal baths we want, and take on everybody else's agendas and everybody else's BS as well. So this runs really, really deep, and you're right that we are in this shift already of getting a vocabulary back to, this is not selfishness. This is not egocentric. In fact, we touched upon this last week when I mentioned put your own mask on first before you help others, because that is the only way that we are in the best possible place to help others, when we are really put ourselves first. But as mothers, as mothers and carers, not just mothers of children, but carers of parents and carers of pets and carers of gardens, it's our nature to care for what is outside of ourselves, whereby we need to care about what is inside of ourselves.
I think that the fundamental belief that we buy into when we come into human form is that we're separate from source. We come in as little ones, and you see that in babies. I'm sure y'all have seen it. And we know who we are, and we cry for food. We cry to get change. We cry for love, and our needs are met. But then as we get older, we start getting no's, and we start seeing boundaries, and then we start to go, oh, well, maybe I'm not that. Maybe I wasn't that all along, right? And then you borrow belief systems from your family, from your community, from your religion, if you ascribe to one, and you buy into the notion that you're separate from source. But all along, you've been source all along, right? So how could you ever be anything but worthy? And I think it's developing some sort of practice that keeps you coming back to the remembrance of that, right? And that keeps you filling up. And the other thing too that keeps coming up to say is that we can't give from an empty vessel. We have nothing. We have no fluid to pour out. So the more we fill ourselves up, the more we can give to others, the more we can serve, the more we can make a difference in our families' lives and our life and the world at hand. And so the number one ingredient in that is you, right? You have to fill yourself up, because you can't make a big enough difference if you're empty. You just can't. There's nothing to give.
Wow. I was hosting a Conscious Cafe event 1 January, always a quiet month after Christmas, and decided the subject would be self-care, good thing to start off the new year. And one of my colleagues, who normally I would invite to do the meditation for the evening, said on the day, look, I can't come. I just need to have a night in. I need not to go out. I'm overstretched. I'm tired. And I'm going to stay in and look after myself. And you know how you might be tempted to enroll people? Oh, come on, you're all right. I went, good for you. You're doing what the workshop says. And that's what I say, Lisa's not with us tonight because she's looking after herself. in our self-care workshop. That's an example. Just do what feeds you, and take action. Don't know. I know what helps me, but I don't do it because I can't remember the word you used earlier on about surrender or putting, we put ourselves last.
Sabotage.
It's a sabotage thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a sabotage thing to say, I know that I should, but I've got to do it. And no, got to look after yourself, whatever it takes. And also, I think the other thing is know what looks after you as well. Know, what is it? Is it a walk? Is it a book? Is it a cup of tea? Is it a cup of tea in a cafe? Is it a night out? Is it, what is it? What are the things that restore you, and do them? And if it's sitting quietly, then make sure you've got a chair in your house where you can sit quietly, or there's a moment in time you say, I need to have that time for me. Without it, I'm going to be, it's too much. So I think knowing what supports you rather than, I know I need some space, but I don't know where to get it. And
I also think that magical word everyone should have in their vocabulary is no. No, I can't do that. I'm so sorry that it doesn't work for me right now. That's okay. It gives other people permission to say the same thing and take care of themselves, right? Because no one knows better than me what is in my highest interest. I am the master of that, or the mistress of that, as we all are. Every soul knows exactly what they need for their highest evolution and growth. So no is a wonderful, wonderful word to add to your vocabulary if you're not using it.
Yeah, let's just drop the mic on that one, because I think it really has to sink in, especially I'm just thinking of my daughter and all the other young mums out there with children under 5 who are juggling, as we are in this completely batty modern age, jobs and households and relationships and their bodies and their social life and the crazy technological era that we live in with all its stimulations, but whether it's a young mum or an adolescent who needs space, or ourselves who are boomers and empty nesters and kind of finding our own space again, it's still the right word. it's still the right word, and it doesn't have to be no in an aggressive way or a negative way. It can also be to voice our needs, to say, I need my own space, I need my own room, I need a night out with the girls, I need not to cook on 2 nights a week, I need for you to leave me alone, I need to be in this room with the door shut and nobody disturb me. So it's not just saying no, but it is also identifying what we do need. And I think that is a really important part of self-love, is identifying what we do need to as you were talking about, to fill our cups. So important. And this time, as we go to the end of the year, this is a perfect time as we go within, and we're in a hibernation vibration and reflection and meditation is to say, what do I need? What didn't I get this year? What do I need to move forward to because at the end of the day, we're still here to live our highest life, our soul, for it to know the fullest expression of ourselves. So what is that fullest expression, and what would it look like today? What would it look like next week? What would it look like next month? Maybe it's going to be different. Maybe I want to dye my hair orange. Maybe I want to change gender. Maybe I want to go off social media forever and ever. Actually, all of those are sounding quite nice at the moment.
You can't go off social media quite yet.
No, I'm being light-hearted, but nevertheless, whatever floats our boat, we're allowed.
Yeah. We do have to. Otherwise, you end up running out of energy, and there's still a year. I've done this before. I'm heading into December and Christmas with expectations, trying to do everything, be perfect, and the energy's finished in November. I've still got December to go. That's not the case this year. The energy is crazy all around, but I'm not going to try and have a big December. It's just cut back, and do what is practical and realistic.
That's a really interesting one, because I'm feeling the same. Is like, oh, I need to catch up. Like, I need to catch up with everything I didn't get done this year. Like I think I'll just catch up. Just like, and go into the kind of mode that we are in the spring when we're powering, and you're right. It's almost not the right time to be catching up, and
you're a bear, you'd be in a cave till February.
And there's another thing too that comes to mind, that as we begin to really dive into what serves me and how can I take better care of myself, we're having to get out of our comfort zone of our programming and conditioning. And it's not going to be comfortable to do that. It never is, right? And you have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable in order to grow and evolve and get to the place where you actually can say, no, I'm going to take a bath instead. I need to just listen to some soft music and be alone for a while, whatever it is. We've given lots of examples here today, but the ability to be very uncomfortable at first until you feel comfortable saying, that doesn't serve me. I'm so sorry. Maybe another time. I can't do it right now.
Yeah, that's going to a new level of honesty with yourself as well.
It does take, as you're right, Alison, it takes practice, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes.
When you do learn to say no, you've got to help your friends and say, you should say no. And when they say no, don't push them. Don't take it personally. It's easy. It's a human thing to take a no as a personal rejection.
Yeah, I had a big teaching of that. It took me a long time to be able to say no, because I was always the yes girl. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Oh yeah, let me help you. Oh yeah, straight A's. Oh yeah, all of it, right? When I started to say no, I lost some people in my life. They what do you mean no? What do you mean you're not going to do that? And it was like, sorry, and at first I was like that. I was like, no, I'm so sorry. It just doesn't serve me. Now I can do it with love and compassion. But at first I was like, am I being a bad person? It was really uncomfortable. And I've gotten really comfortable being very honest in what my needs are and giving others permission to do that.
So from what you're both saying, and I know this is going to touch Gina particularly. This is a time in the year when we do naturally get pulled to be more nurturing of ourselves. Just the days get shorter. We want to pull the curtains, be warm, put warm things on, eat more nourishing things. And I've been feeling this over the last couple of weeks, over October actually, as we got into October, is I want to take my time in the morning to just think what I need next. Whether it's stretching, whether it's just usually I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go. List, Todoist, Pomodoro technique, everything just like measured up, lined up. Get the essential oils on, set everything up. Here we go. And I'm like, actually, I just want to lie down on my yoga mat and stretch. Just like, that's what I really want to do. Just lie down and stretch. And then I get, I'm sure a lot of people could relate to this, panicky. Like this stress starts coming up. And all the little voices start going, well, you're never going to get through your list today again. And, those things you said you were going to do this week, you're not going to get them done. And then I can get to 1:00 and just be getting into my stride. I'm like, oh my goodness, that half the day is already gone. And then there's this mind chatter that goes on. Like, maybe you should rethink about hiring some more staff. Or maybe I shouldn't be having so many things on my on my to-do list anyway. So this whole commitment to our nurturing is I think, as you said, it's uncomfortable, it's tricky, it doesn't feel comfortable. There's stress that comes up, and then you're thinking, well, if it's this stressful looking after myself, maybe I'll just go back to powering.
That could be really strong.
Well, you mentioned about the mind chatter. It's you can carry around your own stern parent or a hard taskmaster. You don't need to have a stern parent or a taskmaster in the room, because there you are yourself with that. And so that self-love really comes down to, what am I saying to myself in each moment? You know, am I saying it's okay? I've said to my social group that okay, I come back again. I saw myself disappear. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Did I mention there about cancelling a Christmas party?
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, I have a social group, and I said, yeah, I'll have a Christmas party. I love parties. I love giving them. And I just thought it's going to be one thing too many. So the old me would have soldiered on, and the me now says, just going to have a New Year party or whenever it works for me. Sorry. You know, it's just too much. Edit that one out.
Bravo.
You know. Does it work for
so
me?
let's just have a little tour around for anybody any woman who's listening and going, oh yes, oh yeah, that's me, oh yeah, that's me, and oh my, yeah, oh yeah, I've still got to work on that, and that's me. Is what's your best advice to yourself? What's your best advice to yourself that you can give to manage our tendency to give our self-nurturing power away?
I say love yourself first.
Can you repeat that, Alison? I didn't quite catch that.
So love yourself first. You know, and the amount of love that you can have for yourself and hold for yourself is an indication of how much you can love others.
Yeah. I would, you know, from this point of view of the list never finishes. I've got a drawer here with lists, and I bet you it'll say March 2014, and there are things on there I still haven't done. So the list is always endless. I should frame them, actually. So why am I doing it? Really, why? And a positive questioning. Do I really need to do it? And what can I do in the space? What can I do in the space? And then, you know, the magical thinking I've got, rather than I'll work until, I've got 2 hours, I've got 3 things to do. Somehow they will be done, you know, and you go in there and you give yourself 2 hours, because at the end of the 2 hours, you're going to have lunch, you're having a coffee break, you're going out or whatever. Just call in help, because it's there. If you can remember to ask. And you can't take on the whole universe. You can't be the general manager of the universe. It's a position I resigned from some years ago. You can only do what you can, so you can't do everything. And why are you doing it? And then you just say, look, these are the most important things. I will do those. And the others, they'll have to wait.
I love it. Do I really need to do it? That is $1 million question.
Yeah. Is this for me to do? This is a friend of mine uses it. Is this for me to do?
Oh, beautiful. Is this for me to do?
Somebody else to do. Is this for me to do in terms of vocation, goal, vision, job today? Is this for me to do?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Is this for me to do? Oh. There's going to be a few shake-ups.
Yeah. We're not super women. We're super women. We're not super women.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Alison, you were going to mention earlier on what your prayer had the effect that it had had on you today, or?
I just realized that we're all in major transition right now, and there is a lot of chaos and fear and doubt and suffering on the planet. And I look at a lot of the things that are going on because of my volunteer work as well as the work that I do. And I transmute as much of it as I possibly can. But in order to do that, I have to be full. I have to come from a place of fullness. And this prayer reminds me of where we're going. So when I want filling up, I look at this prayer and I look at this new possibility of a time, of an age where we can love fully with compassion and understanding and unity in the world. And I just keep holding. I come back to that vision, and that's where I spend the most time.
Wonderful. I hope you've written it down.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's going in. If with your permission, I'd love to put it in the next edition of the magazine.
Okay, we'll talk about that for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Spread
Definitely.
it far and wide.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Maybe we'll finish with it actually, just so as well. Just so.
Sure. Yeah.
We can really. So before we do that, I think I'd like that to be the very last thing. I would love people, our listeners, to know wherever you are out there in the world, and you're listening to this, that you can find us in House of Preeminence. Preeminence is Preeminence. Preeminence. House of Preeminence on Facebook. We've got a page. We've got a group. I am there, Jenny Parker Brown, and we will give you the link to the magazine. The magazine is free every month. It is absolutely plum jam packed, plum and walnut and blackberry jam packed, full of transformational wisdom of every topic, not just self-love, but relationships and communication and money and lifestyle and ritual and your home and your style and everything that you need to support you to be the empowered change maker that you are and do the work that you are called to do. So we have all those resources for you. Join us, please join us. This is a conversation. If you're watching this on social media, please reply below. Join the conversation. Tell us if you have trouble loving yourself. Tell us if you have trouble putting those rituals and routines into place. We want to hear from you. This is a dialogue, a live dialogue with you, for you. So that is all the resources that we can, and this is every single week we are going to be out on the airwaves sharing our wisdom. The magazine is monthly. This is a treasure trove of everything you need. So no excuses. This is the biggest gift you could give yourself today in self-love, is to go and come and find us. So on that note, Alison, if you can repeat the ladies' prayer so that that goes out to the airwaves, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Our Lady who lives at the heart of all form, hallowed be thy name. May thy queendom come. May thy will be done, that heaven may come to earth. Please allow me this day to drink from your sacred silver spring, and forgive me my forgetting as I learn through your grace to return all non-love with love. And take me by the hand and lead me step by step into the patient valley of your heart. For yours is the earth, my body, and my life, forever and ever. Amen. A woman, blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Bye bye, everybody. See you next time.